Hey everyone, Tom here, Battle Rap Resume. Shout out to everyone on the live stream as well. Please leave questions, leave comments, whatever. We'll get to those throughout the show. We are here with a recap of an event that I just went to yesterday. That was April the 28th, 2018. This was King of the Ronalds, A Few Good Men, their debut in the Fiddlers, you know, and it was a fantastic event, really good event. I mean, 2018 has been such a good year so far, such a premium year for UK Battle Rap, and yesterday was no different. There were some cancellations, as is the way with all leagues, but there was a unique Ronaldness that came over the, dare I say, somewhat corporate Fiddlers. And I mean that in an endearing way, but just because it's been used so many times, it's so familiar to the psyche of Battle Rap. They found a way to redress it, and it was a terrific event. And, you know, someone do these recaps, and a few people comment, they're like, Tom, don't do the recaps on your own. It's better to have someone to bounce off. It makes it more interesting. I accept that, you know. So today I have kowtowed to one of my favourite people, one of my favourite battlers, a guy that battled there yesterday as well. Sherpa, how's it going, man?
Oh, I'm very well, thanks, Tom. How you doing?
I mean, the battle yesterday for you, we'll sort of get into it. We'll go through the event before, but you know, some brief words in summation. I thought you were excellent.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, for me, it went really well. I got out all of the material that I wrote for Zen. Well, all the stuff that I'd kept in anyway, and I'd sort of inspired him to take a battle more seriously and actually put some effort in, because I think he's actually got, you know, there's something about Zen that is quite interesting, and so just wanted him to actually put some effort into a battle. So, and it was perfect. So I was well happy.
And, you know, there was a bit of sweet nature perhaps to yesterday, slightly, just because there is this awareness that Ronald's as a thing is closing. Maybe it'll exist in some other form. But for now, it seems like the league time is finite, and, you know, the events are getting better, the attitude is sharper. Did that pervade for you here, or was this just a sort of unbridled...
Hey, it's just another one of the things that makes... Sorry about that.
That's all right.
It's just another one of the things that makes King of the Ronalds so unique. And you know, having a finite time period on anything just makes every occurrence more exciting. Every event, you know, is more necessary to go to, because, you know, there won't be many left.
Yep.
And it does have a unique atmosphere that, you know, is like, there is a roughness to it, but it's just so really just endearing to the people that are part of it. You know,
definitely. And
you know, it was awesome to see King of the Ronalds at the Fiddler's Elbow, because I don't know, there's just something about that place that's just perfect for battling.
And, you know, I am a egotistical person, and I like to comb back through the catalogues, and I was just thinking before we went on air, obviously I've had you on the show a few times now, and it looks like KOTR was the first thing we covered, which was Back to the Future Pagans event. That was in August 2016. We spoke for 44 minutes on that event. What piqued my interest most, John, looking back? Don't flop contributing writer is how I described you. I forgot you were in that role.
I was at the time, yeah.
Was that tough? Was it like
bits and bobs.
A Vanity Fair type arrangement, like journalistically? Or?
No, I wrote some words and I got 3 pay-per-views. That's about it.
That's a fair trade.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, you know, let's get to the event as a whole. Building up to this, one of the most exciting things about this whole card was the fact that Reverse Live was coming over here. You know, absolutely wonderful battler. I'm actually having Saurus on the show again next week, and I've been rewatching all his battles that we need to cover, and the Reverse Live one's one of them, and I thought he was incredible in that battle, and it got me to watching other battles, like him versus MCD recently as well. You know, I think his cadence, I think his rhythm, I think he's insatiable. I need to get him on the show, actually. We have spoken about that. That'll be a really good episode. But unfortunately, Reverse Live versus Hulk just didn't go down. For whatever reason, it didn't go down.
I know, man. Don't rub it in. You know, it's
I'm sad as well.
Oh, yeah. It was very, very frustrating. You know, it's not my information to divulge whether, you know, it's for Hulk to say what's happened. Yeah. But, you know, it hasn't happened, and it's very disappointing, and I'm gutted for Hulk.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know. Yeah, I've heard he got, like, Reverse, I've gotten a fight maybe or something. I don't know. There were videos that I've heard he was posting of other things. I don't really, you know, again, it's murky. It's battle rap gossip.
Yeah, you know, it's, you know, it's whatever. But, you know. Onwards and upwards, eh?
Exactly, and you know,
Act on to the positives of the day, because the day was immensely positive.
day was incredible. I've been to a few King of the Realms events. You know, battled at one, regrettably, versus Murta. Please don't watch that battle. But this is definitely one of the best I've seen. And what would you say? You're much more a veteran of King of the Realms than myself, John. Is this a marquee classic sort of memorial?
Man, I'm not a super veteran, Ronald, but I've been there for a while.
Oh yeah.
But you know, it was awesome. The vibe at the event, the battles that happened, it was just like a real, everything worked. You know, okay, things did overrun, but not nearly by the amount that they have in the past, or you know, in terms of starting, it was pretty prompt. I know it wasn't advertised as a 2 o'clock start, but it didn't feel like we had to wait forever.
No.
And but yeah, everything was good, and it was such a good vibe. And you know, it's just the fiddlers, so things are, and you know, various people come along who you know, you might not have expected to see ever at a King of the Realms event. So you know, that's always you know, positive.
So a lot of healing,
especially how battle rap on the UK has gone in the last sort of six months or so.
Yeah, it's definitely disintegrating in some ways, but growing in others, and I think today was a prime example of that. And like a lot of other people, perhaps outside of London, I have one of my most favourite traditions, like getting the coach out to London and then travelling to a battle event, and you know, it's never not exciting. So arriving at the Fiddlers, I was surprised actually. There was quite a large crowd outside and in. You know, there was a lot of people there, which was really good to see, especially for this league. Like, you know, it wasn't a sellout, unfortunately, but nonetheless, you know, it was a rowdy, receptive. I think the Ronalds crowd's definitely one of the best UK sub crowds. You know, amongst this pyramid, they're always active with the fandom. I think we're going to talk about the Bobby Rex and Billzar battle. The second round, the Bobby refrain was, awesome fucking battle. Really excited to talk about that one as well.
Shout out Mickey and his crowd control there, because like that geezer was like very, very hype. He was loving it, but. Yeah. Oh man, but you know, Mickey's always on point with most things, really. Yeah. So you know, well done, Mickey.
So we'll get to the first battle, which was yourself versus Zen. Zen is, you know, a miasma, a chaotic force, a vortex in battle rap to a certain extent, isn't he?
Yeah, he's all those things and more and nothing at the same time. No, right. But he's, as I say, he's got a lot of personality and a unique way of putting things together. You know, he's one of these kids that I'm always like, oh, what are you actually saying? What's behind the words? You know, even if it's I see him posting on Facebook or you know this nonsense, but there's a creativity to it that always intrigued me, and you know, I thought battling him would be A, interesting for me, and B, would hopefully inspire him to actually put some real effort in.
Yeah, this is my first time really encountering his material, and I felt a little muted from the crowd. You know, people weren't necessarily rocking it, but getting lines off towards the end. But I felt were consistent. I think you have that structure, that stricture to your writing, the way you construct stuff. That is always fun to listen to.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, you know, I just try and at least have some sort of narrative going through each round. That each round sort of is existing in and of itself, but in this case, you know, the whole thing was sort of connected.
And Zen is actually in the comments, I should say, correcting me. It's Zemmoir, he says, which John, I suppose you would have known.
It is Zemmoir.
Okay,
but you know, it's
many names.
I don't want to think about the association there. So it's like, you know.
And what did you think of his material against you?
Oh, I thought it was excellent, man. I really did. That, you know, there was a lot of different concepts and a lot of like really nice rhyming that I enjoyed. There was a Xenobites bar that no one reacted to that I was particularly I thought was particularly good. But no, Zen was I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and I was pleased to sort of kick him off along the sort of you know, give him a kick up the arse and so inspire him to win. You know, and he deserved it, man. He deserved it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun to experience that, KOTR crowd reaction thing firsthand. And I've got to say that most people that I cheered for didn't win. So, the rough taste of democracy reigns at a lot of those battles.
It's really good, because the victories had then and there. To be honest, I'm not bothered about winning or losing, but it's cool to win. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but I just want to write and be creative and have it go out there, and so people can watch it in the future. Whatever, it's all good.
Yeah.
You can really structure your writing to just entertaining the crowd, or doing other things with it. But Zen was awesome.
Yeah, no, and you should be proud, definitely, of the material there you got out. We haven't actually done a Sherpa episode yet, per se. But we certainly will do one, man. You've got some, the lazy material, the milky material. Good shit.
No, we'll when I deserve one. There's plenty of people ahead of me in the queue, man.
I've had Magic Mike on the show, man. It's.
But he's a certain legend.
Oh, he is.
But the worst I've ever seen as well. Yeah. He's awesome. But
let's push on with the card. So the day I thought was moving well. I thought you guys was a good opener. I've noticed that you opened before. You opened at Next in Line. Was that right as well? Next in Line 2.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm really really happy opening opening events. Just I like it, means I can try and kick things off with a nice energy or whatever. I was very ill when I battled Milky, so right. I was pleased to be able to put a real sort of best foot forward yesterday. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and move on to the next battle, which was Loxy versus Frost. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome battle. These two were fucking brilliant.
I've not seen Loxy.
No, she was excellent.
in person before. I like her. She literally doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that. Because she must have been mentioned, not joking, must have been mentioned 6 times during the day.
Yeah.
Not in her battle.
Oh, yeah.
And doesn't give a shit.
It's the Emily Tilly effect. It's the female bystander effect in battle rap. It's crazy.
But she's no longer a bystander, is she?
No, she was crazy. Right. Needs to project a little bit more, but I thought her turn of phrase, her attitude, her persona, it was number 1 for me. I thought she really shone.
Yeah, she really did. She really did. And it does beg the question, as another battler, right? She's getting called, getting mentioned in other people's battles. Is that? I don't know. Should that be acceptable? But because But anyway, unless they want to battle her, that is. Because as I say, she is very, very good.
Yeah. And Frost as well, I think. Ever himself takes so many battles in such quick clusters of time, but seems to have no, wear and tear. The quality is still there, and the classic sort of, anti-seduction wooing that these battles do have to happen. I think he executed, expertly.
Yeah, he was delightfully sleazy and charming at the same time.
Yeah.
But quite chill, because he's been quite energetic and intense with his writing. In a lot of, in the Dark Battle, for example, and all the rest of it. But I liked the different, more laid back style a little bit. So, but yeah, I thought they both sort of had a similar way, because they both had that sort of reverse romance, horrible sexual thing going on. But yeah, it was I don't know. They sort of cancelled each other out for the first 2 rounds, I thought, and then the third was decisive for me.
And I'm a big fan of Alan Moore. I like the idea that history rides in cycles, and the same things happen in the same place generations apart. And in the same way you had Frost Loxy, you had another archetypal boy-girl battler in the Fiddlers, Mickey and DK.
Oh god, yeah,
that happened in the same room, on the other side of the room, weirdly. But yeah,
and Pedro Live Winter.
Pedro Live Winter as well. Yeah, you're right. I wonder if there were any more that went down there. I don't think so. But yeah.
Callum versus Shonda Rhimes.
Holy shit, there's a fourth. Yeah, this is spooky. We've stumbled upon so here. But yeah, let us know in the live stream if you think that way. I saw we were asking earlier.
It's co-educational battle central.
That's it. We were asking earlier about the reverse live. Where was he? Sean offering helpfully. He was eating the slabs of meat he was supposed to punch, which is a reference to the battle, which is a great battle. Yeah. So we push on with the day. Is it Danny Jack Cannell? Was that the third one?
Yeah, Danny Jack Cannell.
Danny Jack Cannell, again, you know, love this battle. I was pretty fucked by this time, and I think everyone was, and I think it rode off that energy. But, you know, the crowd loved Danny Jack, and I think Cannell, you know, he took the victory. But from both of them, this is definitely what you wanted. Danny Jack's whole, like, the guy to wake up at 8 a.m. and 8 a.m. or some shit like that. It was crazy.
Yeah. It was like you look like you've come home from a festival and stuff like that. That was fantastic.
That was great, yeah.
You know, Danny really did style on him the first 2 rounds, and it was, to me, he was clearly, if you're going to do it round by round, he was 2-0 up. And then he did his third round,
which wasn't about Cannell.
No, it was It was basically about how Danny felt about the last 2 months in battle rap. You know,
people want to hear that.
And yeah, it was cool for what it was. But like, I was just thinking to myself, can you lose a whole battle just by losing 1 round massively? And it'll, you know. Oh, but I've just remembered one of Cannell's bars that was actually fire. Was it, you used to be Captain Save-A-Ho, but now you're Captain Blame-A-Ho to save yourself. That's heavy.
Home truths. Sitting. Good to see Cannell yesterday as well. He's just, he's a legend around these parts, and it's awesome to see him just, you know, the ascension that he's had. You know, it's just a well-deserved victory, as I say, but I think both of them delivered. It's a shame, John, there was quite a few cancellations in some way or another, or battles that didn't go down. Tidal would battle later, but he was meant to battle Topher, I believe. Chucky P versus Lex. I saw Lex at the event, actually.
Lex was there,
say hi to him. And I think I saw him post online today that, like, you know, Chucky didn't show up for whatever reason, so he had to leave.
Yeah, that's always disappointing. You know, I'm gutted that Chucky didn't turn up, but you know,
Lex is crazy good.
Well, you know, and Lex seems to be in a better place than he was, you know, a year, 18 months ago, when I felt, you know, obviously he was, because he, you know, he talked about it in a battle, but you know, it's disappointing.
Sayo
and obviously no dialect.
Yeah, that, and no dialect. You're right. Versus Flavs, who's doing all the recording, which is, I mean, whenever dialect isn't there and he's supposed to have battled, it's game.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing. Like, but to be honest, like, would we have fit all the battles in? We'd just be battling outside.
Maybe you're right. But the next battle we got to was Tidal versus Fighter. This is my first time seeing Fighter. The hype for this guy's been out of this world. I think he has his own group. He asked me to go on battle at Resume, and I was a bit like, you haven't had any battles, you know, and he sort of called me out for it, so that's fair enough. I appreciate that, man. And I can say that I was thoroughly impressed. You know, I think the professionalism that he had, the delivery, the way of sort of conjuring stuff for Tidal. And Tidal as well is no slouch, man. Every time I see this guy, I'm really impressed by this guy. Me and him spoke a little Birmingham battle rap outside, actually. We spoke about Spit Roast League and weird mutual friends that we have and shit like that. So shout out Tidal as well. This, you know, again, I think the day was 4 for 4 here with great entertaining battles.
So entertaining, you know, and okay, Fighter Brian has been like really sort of expertly making a name for himself online, really expertly. I was talking with Bard about this, and we both agreed that, you know, there's a lot of buzz about the man.
Oh yeah,
and you know, and then to see him turn up and, like, as you say, like, very powerful with very professional, direct delivery. Like, it's heavy. You know, I like to, you know, and the writing was good and strong as well, really funny and really effective and really specific, you know. But yeah, Tidal, he's in his battle rap family. It's hilarious. Apparently his dad's a big battle rap fan as well. But yeah, he was really giving it back, really trying to force himself onto the front foot, and it was. I was very impressed. I I love that. What's the line? Like, just because he shouts loud doesn't make Brian blessed. Like
Mm,
that was as good as Brian Blessed wordplay is ever gonna get.
mm, mm. Yeah.
And yeah, but it was a really great clash, and obviously we went to the triple
Yeah,
redo.
yeah, because it was incredibly close. So even
Mhm.
KOTR's foolproof judging system, it couldn't shield us from the fact that there were some abnormalities here. So we had to go further. I think there were 2 draws from people screaming, People genuinely were being quiet, genuinely screaming for their favourite, and it still was tied. It was just like the whole room was deadlock. So they opened it up, Sherpa, to a arm wrestling contest, was it? They tried to.
Yeah, but that's hardly fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Tidal's not tiny, but like he's not.
Sure.
It doesn't look like a strong guy.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Oh, yeah. His name's Fighter,
a
for
fight,
God's
a
sake.
fight,
Like,
fight. Exactly. It's like yeah, and he looks quite keen to
oh, yeah.
fight. He's a good lad as well. He's a very nice lad.
But, all in all, I think it went to Fighter at the end.
Yeah, to be honest, it was one of these. I'm old. I play drums. I've got shit ears.
Right.
I thought Fighter won the battle, but it's like with as I say, I've got shit ears. But
No, I mean, Tidal was still great, though. I think it's not a body or anything. I
man,
think Tidal had some great stuff.
yeah, I know absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I know KOTR. I don't know if they've even got it set up to do a PPV.
Oh, they
Just
need to. Yeah, they need to.
yeah, man. When you have a great event,
Yeah,
put it out there for people to get early.
yeah, yeah.
Because people are gonna want to see Billsor versus Bobby.
Mm,
And even if it's like a fiver for the whole thing or whatever.
mm. Why not? A sort of going away present. Like, I think someone put on one of their posts the other day, like, do a Patreon. And I don't understand why every fucking league in the entire world doesn't have their own Patreon. I know most do now. But especially the lower leagues, like King of the Realms, I think, they could get by on, like, say $5 and you just get access to all the battles as soon as they come out or something like that, because they have some awesome shit in their archives. And, trust me, people pay for Battle Rap Resume. They'll pay for any old crap on Patreon. So definitely, definitely put that out there, legitimate league here. But yeah, let's get to probably the biggest selling point of the day.
Is that you trying to mention the Patreon without mentioning the Patreon, Tom?
It's on every link. It's on every comment. So, you can't miss it. You can't also miss Bobby Rex versus Billsor on beat.
No.
And, Billsor, it's my second time
Wow.
seeing him. I saw him after the Press 1 battle, and I think here I was just, I really was blown away by the skill of this guy, how he commands the audience, and I thought both of
Hey,
them...
it's funny you mention press
Yeah.
because like press like especially on like a hip hop beat, press has the ability to just write smoothly flowing punchlines as though he's battling a cappella. And Billsar has that, but at an even faster rate over Grime. For me, he just excels over Grime in a way that I've not seen live. Admittedly, I'm not super experienced at watching a lot of Grime clashes in the flesh. But he was like really excellent, really effective.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I think one of the things a few people were saying at the event as well, and it does happen, and hopefully they'll sort of edit this on cam, but there were so many reloads because the quality material was so good, and I understand that's part of it, but the battle was like a 40-minute battle or something.
Oh God, it was yeah. I think it's probably about 7 minutes of material, about a 40-minute battle. I hope Flabs edits it down nicely.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I remember writing that Bobby had literally had a 2-bar reload of his first part of his first round, and it's just from the rhythm that he was spitting, and it was amazing, both punchlines and technical reloads were happening, and it was just absolutely incredible. Great choice of beats.
Yeah.
And for KOTR's first ever on beat battle, I can't, it's like I don't like. Maybe they had to wait for this particular clash for it to all make sense, for us to have an on beat battle, and it was fucking spot on. Really was.
Yeah, it really was, and the sound was excellent as well. So hopefully they capture
It
that
was
mix
great
on the
level.
cam. But yeah, what it really
Yeah,
was.
that sort of words of weapons style.
Yes,
You
it
know,
was. You're
just
totally right.
yeah.
And that's the sort
And
of
it's
benchmark.
the best way to do. It's the best. It's the best way. Like I think when any mics are involved, it just goes wrong.
And as is tradition, really, with any Fiddlers event, they overrun, and
Of course.
we go outside to that. What's the
Gotta go to
name
the
of that
park.
place? What's it called?
Does
Does it have a place? It's
I
basically
do not know the park. Look, I believe it is on all official Ordnance Survey maps as the park round the corner.
But for people who don't know, we mentioned Fiddler's Elbow before on the show, classic venue, site of so many don't flop, etc. Real awesome place. And me and Pete Cash did an episode like Fiddlers battles and that sort of idea, and it just engenders a certain quality. So basically, if you've not been there in Camden, when you go outside, there's a long sidewalk which allows everyone to congregate and smoke and talk to each other. It's awesome for sort of socialising and recording and shit. But just off that is a thin sort of little alleyway that you could walk down 10 seconds for, and then it breaks into sort of I don't know how you describe it, sort of like in the middle of a sort of housing estate. It's just like a few garages and a park, but it's JB versus Jay Short went down there, etc. Lots of classic shit has went down in that place.
I would say it's a couple of like concrete planters in front of a bin store.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
Let's not romanticize the area, Tom. It's not.
That's what I'm here for. But yeah, no, I just try to build a picture. But the thing that will build the best picture is a shirtless Colton Shanks getting ready to battle Pedro.
Tom, I had to go by this stage. Like as battle rap time had caught up with me, and I was not there for this, but I have seen pictures of this online. And Carlton obviously hits the gym fairly often, but he was absolutely levered by the time I left. So God knows what state he was in then.
Yeah. So we all went outside. We all evacuated. And yeah, sort of filmed a little bit as well. Shout out to Chris, the grime rap critic. I was sort of desperate, really. I was at an event without Nathan or without a camera guy. It was my fault. I'd actually cancelled on my camera guy last minute, and then last minute I could go to the event. So unfortunately, we couldn't get that in. But we'll definitely do that in the future. So yeah, I was sort of looking for someone to help me record some interviews. Shout out to Chris. He was gracious enough to do that. Recorded some good stuff. I just sort of went on mic and just sort of walked around the area when we were all getting ready for the Pedro Colton battle. So it gives it a different mood, and I'm looking forward to seeing those videos when they get edited on his channel. But yeah, people were excited. It was still early in the day. It was still light as well this time of year, and this battle delivered. Colton is a force, really, that seems quite unstoppable in facing these names. And it was a good quality Pedro. It was a sort of a decent tier. Dare I say, not a KOTR Pedro.
I saw Pedro like going around the venue practicing his bars during the day, and I was like, "Right, man's got some writtens, spot on."
Yeah, yeah.
So it didn't surprise me that he won in the end. I think Pedro.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Pedro's got writtens,
Yeah.
He just needs a platform. He needs a platform, then he can tilt off of it.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, man.
So, no. Just saying how impressive it's been for Carlton, man. Like he's been consistent, going on and battling bigger and bigger names. It's interesting. But it doesn't really get a lot of praise. Generally, which I think he does deserve because he's been very consistent.
Yeah, battled some huge names. He's
probably.
I said this to him yesterday. He's probably the greatest ever Mastermind contestant. Just magnificent battle rap knowledge. So yeah,
absolutely. Well, to be honest, like he is my go-to. If I think of something that I want to know if someone said it, I'll ask him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've gone to him a few times as well and said I remember I said I had Bill Collector on. I was like, what should we talk about? And he knew. He's got that down deep knowledge. So shout out to Colton. Shout out to everyone on the card. Regardless of some of the cancellations, the mood was incredible. All of the battles were good. All of the which is rare to see actually. It was a clean sweep for battles. I would highly recommend to rewatch from all of these guys. Big and small in terms of stature, they all delivered on the stage here. And there's some real promise with some homegrown talent, regardless of where KOTR goes. Please, if there is a pay-per-view, buy this pay-per-view. Subscribe to King of the Ronalds. Subscribe to the channel. Watch all the battles. I'm actually working on my next real video that I'm working on is going to be top 10 most Justice, like King of the Ronalds battles. I asked for Mickey's permission the other day, and I've pretty much done the notes already, so I've rewatched all the battles, and oh my god, yeah, there's gonna be some fucking crazy. One of the battles I'm actually in the scenes. I'm actually in the crowd, which is quite surreal. So mainly be focused on me for that episode, but yeah, look out for that episode coming soon. Support us on Patreon at @Resume. Leave us a review on iTunes if you enjoy this sort of stuff as well. But John, this has been a treat, man. Your material, how do people get at you? What's the promo?
My material,
your writings, etc.
Oh, I haven't got a lot at the moment there, Tom. You know, I've taken like a few other things have taken more prominence in life than writing online and stuff like that. So it's I've mainly I know I've been playing in a band, and so that's been the main focus. But yeah, everyone knows where I am anyway. You know, on Facebook, come find me.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to urge people as well to go back and listen to when John's been on the show for. John is someone I've actually had on my other podcast, my Metallica podcast, for a few episodes there as well. And we've had some great non-battle rap discussions. So, yeah, plethora of material there. Shout out to King of the Ronalds. Shout out to everyone that I met yesterday as well.
Yeah.
I met one guy at the bar who sort of spoke to me about the Briggsy saga in depth. Everyone always has their own take on it, which is interesting to see. So, Briggsy will be on the show soon, I should say. He was just on for an interview the other day.
Excellent.
Check out all it's going to be a monumental episode. Check out all the Premier Battle stuff me and Nathan caught as well on camera. We got some really good interviews on there. With Mickey, I think the Hulk one is coming out soon as well with you now, and we've got some crazy shit on there. But thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks again, KOTR. John, it's been a pleasure, bro.
All the best, mate. Take care.